I think when writing a crime series, the starting point for myself was always the truth. One of the great things about Wanted is that we kept it grounded, and that there's an authenticity in that. We've never allowed our characters to become superheroes. They're just heroic in the sense that they overcome their fears. It's not that they're not afraid, they just learn to control it.
I think when you come to stunts, you don't have to play hero. It's more about what is going to look good, blended in with the safety aspect as well. And with these guys around that I had, Halfie and Darko and Jimmy Christensen, I could have done anything, and I did, and I'm glad I did, because apparently it looks good and I haven't seen it yet. So,
for all the big sequences, wherever there were guns and lots of physicality involved, then we would do a stunt rehearsal, which is really helpful because then you can actually think about what you're saying rather than where you've got to stand.
We've done some good stuff so far. As long as you warm up before you don't get injured, I found, and do exactly as he tells you.
I've been thrown about a bit. I get employed to be beaten up. We've ended up with some battle scars, bleed for your art sort of thing. But that's sort of the nature of it, when you're going at this intensity and it's just a lot of fun. I think it's one of the funnest parts of the job.
There's lots of really good stunt scenes. Hate to say it, but some really good shots of people getting shot.
I did lots of movement training and have done lots of theatre. I really like using my body when I act and being physical, and I actually find it really fun. All the running and stuff I love.
I thought I was pretty good at doing stunts, and I found out that I am, but I forgot that I'm 50. So I'm getting a lot more tired than I thought. Although, mind you, having said that, I have been keeping up with Jerry running.
As soon as I got the role and I read the script and the requirements, I made a decision that I wanted to empower my physicality a bit more. I got a personal trainer and worked on certain aspects of my body that I wanted to be reinforced.
There's been no injuries. We've got stunt doubles who are amazing and have done some of the more challenging physical labour.
I really appreciated how much risk stunt people can actually take. I really appreciated what Darko has done on that day and the way that Alfie and his team have been there to make sure that everything was going to go really well, and it did.
And they've been really supportive. We did some driving training, just driving really fast around different little tracks and stopping and skidding and driving backwards.
He realised within about 5 minutes that I am an inner hoon and that I can hit a mark, and I have been driving on camera for about 30 years, so he was quite surprised.
Poor Beck has to do a lot of acting while driving, and let's be honest, it's not the easiest thing in the world, especially when you've got a camera strapped to the car and there's another one in front of you and you've got to keep a certain distance behind the truck. But sometimes it's good because it takes your head out of it and you're not overthinking a scene.
And working with Alfie, it was very, very good, because it gives you an understanding of how to hit certain marks in a certain way, and you never really go wrong. The rest, obviously, has got to be your confidence and your focus, and it's a team effort. And I really felt it.
When you have actors driving a real car, the audience buys it and they appreciate it. They don't know it, but there's something else going on and they're seeing something real. So I tried to avoid any sort of simulated travel shots. The car's static and we've got stuff moving around, and try to stay away from low loaders, which is where we drive a car up onto a trailer. The actors don't have to drive, they can act, which is great for the actors. But sometimes it's just nice to have that freewheeling unpredictability of driving a car.
There's an amazing moment where I was coming up this road at about 100 k's per hour, and I had to pull a U-turn, and I had this drone floating halfway, and the cameraman just on a tripod, and I was just pulling a U-turn pretty much just 5 meters from them. So there was kind of this intensity and concentration that needed to be in place, not to hurt anybody or just send the drone to pieces.
The opening scene of the movie required Beck and Jerry to be stuck in a boot of a car for the first, I think it was the first 5 minutes of the movie.
We had actually made a boot rig that we got in, but they still had to put a lid on it, and Geraldine and I both needed copious amounts of rescue remedy to cope.
So we had a copy of that boot built that we could open up all sides on, and it was 20% larger, so it was a lot easier and quicker to film with.
I remember reading the script thinking, oh, that's going to be a long time in a really tiny, dark, hot boot with Rebecca Gibney. We're going to get to know each other pretty well.